Hello everybody, welcome back to Agrarian Skies 2, episode 24. So, the last two episodes have been all about Applied Energistics, and I think this one's going to touch on that too. I'd really like to get autocrafting up and running before moving on to something else. But in between episodes, I reorganized the basement a little bit, and I want to show you around. So first thing you'll notice is a big empty space where the or real lot of changes where the power systems used to be. So after I moved all the lava generation over here, it made sense to make up enough magmatic dynamos to actually use it. Still need some more than that, really, but these are doing a pretty good job. And all of them are full of power, they're all full of lava. The lead-acid energy cell is totally full, and everybody is happy. I need to make some more energy cells and probably upgrade my power conduits at some point, but you know, that's for later perhaps. Let's see, what else? The stuff that used to be over here, the witch water generation, soul sand generation, clay, etc., have been moved. And I finally got rid of the rest of those induction smelters in here. They just weren't being that useful. So they're gone now. Now the pulverizers do their thing. We go right into the redstone furnaces, and everybody's happy. The witch water and other things got moved over here. So what's happening now? Got another item duct feed coming off this area that has the gravel, sand, and dust in it. There's a filter here allowing sand into this furnace, which is creating glass. Then it goes over here. This one contains dust, which gets pulled up into these oak barrels, creating clay. This one contains sand, which goes over into the witch water generating area where it has moved to and is generating soul sand. There's the aqueous accumulator hanging out on the same water block that is powering the cobblestone generator. And that's it for down here. You'll also notice that it's now enclosed. This is now an indoor space, so that's fun. And up here, if we go up top, you'll see that basically we've expanded this platform out to be a roof. And this is where it's still working because I ran out of green. Really need to finish up getting this cactus up to 10, 10, and 10, but I haven't done that yet. So let's we'll let this green finish working, and then we'll head down and see what else is going on. The solar panels that were originally underneath where it didn't overhang are now up here. So if we head up to the top, they're hanging out right here. Now, something else to show. Let me get down off of here. I had an Enderman spawn, so I'm just kind of surveying the top of the platform to see if I see anything troubling. But I'm not. Oh well. Alright, so you'll see that this field is not being planted with oak trees anymore. There's a good reason for that. I've turned them off. Instead, this area is now going to be split between the oak trees and the rubber trees. I hear a spider. I think he's underneath. Yep, he's underneath. Okay, and this area, as soon as the oak trees come off of it, I'm going to try out with these other plants. Let's go take out that spider. And now, with that taken care of, I think that's about it in terms of major changes. I've also been playing with the inscribers for Applied Energistics. What I've got set up is silicon press, the logic press, calculation press, engineering press, and then with the advanced inscriber, it can take multiple inputs. If I plug in a hopper, so this is worth showing off. Let's do it this way. I've already got gold. Let's get a pure Certus quartz and a diamond. Alright. I should probably make some more hoppers at some point. I need silicon too. Alright, so if I throw some silicon into here, it'll go in and be pressed. Alright, easy as that. Same thing for all the others. I throw gold in. Oh, I plugged in the wrong place. There we go. Throw the pure Certus quartz in. It goes in and is smelted, or not smelted, is pressed. And the same deal with the diamond. But if I plug up the hopper and put in the printed silicon, the printed logic, and redstone, it doesn't work. It won't try to feed them into the proper spots. It just sits there, right? It just goes and does. It tries to basically keep feeding something into the first slot, and it can never make any progress. I'm just making a couple more silicon prints, printed silicons, just so I can complete the demo that I have planned. It would help if I picked up enough redstone. But in this guy, if you feed in, right, different materials, they'll automatically go to the right spots. So if you come over and pick up your various printed circuits, they should pop right out. There we go. And you can also remove them with automation if you so choose, obviously. So that's kind of cool. I did make a stack of logic processors while I was experimenting. So there we go. What's next? Let's get some auto crafting going. So to build auto crafting, we're going to need some of the molecular assembler chambers. And to do it the way I really want to, we're going to need more ME interfaces. That's, I don't remember where I have an interface, but we'll make one. There we go. There's the one I built. So we're going to need some of those. We're going to need an interface terminal. And we'll probably need some more stuff at some point. Pattern. So that gives us a crafting table with 4 oak wood planks. So let's go play with that. Where can I put this? Let's just stick the interface right there. That guy there. And I'm going to put the encoded pattern there. In the interface terminal. Great. So molecular assembler has that. It will give us a crafting table. Show me craftable items. Make me 5 of them. And go. It's going to say I need Junglewood planks, I have plenty available. I'm going to craft that. No crafting CPUs are available. So this is the next block we need to make. What's it called? Crafting coprocessing unit, which is a crafting unit plus an engineering processor. And then we need a storage unit, crafting storage unit. And they come in various types, but they're basically a crafting unit plus a storage component or a bigger storage component. You're getting the idea here. So let's make a little one. That uses a logic processor, Certus quartz, and redstone. The crafting unit uses a couple of calculation processors, a logic processor, some cable, some iron. So I'm going to go make some of this stuff, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back, and working on... I'm not sure if I need an ME controller for this or not, but figured I'd go ahead and make one, just because. So I have the crafting coprocessing unit, I have the crafting storage, and I have the ME controller. Also noticed while I was working on this, I totally ran out of channels, which is why I think I might need the controller. I'm not going to worry too much about architecture at this point. I'm just going to try to get everything working. So the controller seems to be functional. Let's turn on let's put the coprocessing unit. Okay, the crafting multi-block came up correctly. And now, if we view craftable, incidentally, hang on. There we go. We have 6 crafting tables currently in inventory. Let's do something that well, that's fine. We have 6. Show me craftable only. Give me 10 more. It's all available. And you can see now we have 16. So that worked exactly as expected. So cool. That works out well. The next thing to do is basically go figure out where I'm going to put everything. And this is where I mentioned channels before. There's some really good videos on that I'll link to in, or good tutorial videos that I'll link to. I'm not going to try to re-explain that here. But what I'm thinking about is having this area right here as kind of the center of the AE system. Maybe put the auto crafting stuff over here somewhere, and then run dense cables over to the farm area and to the ore processing area to begin with, just to have all that hooked up. I think that will work pretty well. I don't know, might need more than one, but we'll figure it out. So next up, I'm gonna basically take all of this apart and work on a little more. I'd like to automate a bunch of these things eventually. I'm not sure how much I'll get to in this episode, but now I'm going to turn off the recording and go rebuild some of this in a little bit cleaner way, thinking about expanding it later on, and probably making some dense cables as well. So if we look, yeah, dense cables are use covered cables with redstone glowstone. Covered cables are glass cables plus wool. The glass cables are fluix plus quartz, so quite a bit of crafting to do to build all that. And I'll be back after some of it's done. Alright, we're back building the pattern terminal. And alright, now instead of just using the pattern encoder, wanted to use the new pattern terminal to build up some patterns. So I've got the ME controller here, the 3 terminals that I have set up, the crafting terminal, interface terminal, and pattern terminal. I should probably eat something while I'm talking. Then I have the crafting CPU, crafting coprocessing unit, and storage unit over here, hooked up to one ME interface and one molecular assembler. I'm going to add some more molecular assemblers around this. That's why I've got it sort of sticking over here. It's going to just kind of feed down this way. Then over here, set up for storage. And my thinking is I'll just run a single dense cable out the back into this area for all of those different channels that are needed. Then the energy acceptor is under here, being fed off the main system. And then I've got the advanced inscriber right here. I've got some ideas about automating that, but we'll see how that goes a little later, not in this episode. This episode, or finishing up this episode, I want to get a few more molecular assemblers, and then I'd also like to automate a pulverizer for a couple of reasons. There we go, got a pulverizer. So to do that, we're going to need some ME interfaces, because to make the molecular assembler chambers, right, I need formation and annihilation cores, logic processors, fluix dust, etc. To make the ME interfaces, which are necessary for the to feed it, we also need formation and annihilation core. We've got a lot of stuff to build. So the formation cores need logic processors, Certus quartz, and fluix dust. The fluix dust requires you to pulverize fluix crystal, which I happen to have done. So let's build those formation and annihilation cores. I've got 50, let's say 48 basic processors to use for this, 24 of each. There's the fluix dust I need, and then let's also get the nether quartz and Certus quartz. Right, over here, and fluix. I don't know if this is shaped. There we go. So there's our formation cores, and now our annihilation cores. Right, now we want to make the molecular assembler chambers. I think I'd like to make 3 more of these. And we need the quartz glass, which is right there. The reason I'm making 3 more of these, thinking here is eventually I'd like to have 4 of these around each interface, right? 1, 2, 3, and under the bottom 4. But for right now, I'm going to set it up with 2 each. I'll put another interface there for more patterns, because I've got several patterns I'd like to build. And then over here, I'm going to need to move some power. But thinking is I will do something like this, where we take the pulverizer. So let's say this is going to be a molecular assembler chamber. Let's leave that as a walkway. This for interfaces. So let's plan the various machines to go right here. Actually, let's move over one more. And that way, we can just run a straight shot from there. Not that it being straight really does anything except for pleasing my own sense of aesthetics, but you know, that's something. Right, so we'll start it roughly there. Now my thinking here is we'll put an interface here feeding into the left side of this guy, and then there's a couple ways I thought about doing this. If I feed out the top, I could go with just an item duct, really, to feed it back into that interface. So check this out. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but it might. Right? So we set that up. Then when we build the interface, it'll feed right back in. Let's see if it works. We're going to need another ME interface. Right, one of these. Hey look, it worked. I actually had all the right materials. And it would help if I could place it on the proper block. What did I set down? Okay, it was a pulverizer. And I'd like to set it to there we go. I'd like to set it to go that way. Now, there we go. So now we will get in here. I'm going to need a blank pattern. Thought I made some blank patterns. Maybe they're over here. Nope. They wouldn't have gotten stuck in the pattern encoder, would they? Network not connected. No, they didn't. Alright, so in the pattern terminal, we'll feed that in there. Now, let's do Fluix dust since I'm using quite a bit of that. Of course, I don't actually have any Fluix crystals to work on. So let's get a charged Certus quartz, a redstone, and a nether quartz, and go make one. Always something. Alright, now we've got flux crystal. And I'm going to feed a flux crystal into the pulverizer of, at least it went back in here. And there's our flux dust. Oh, I did have flux crystals. I just forgot I'd put them in there. Alright, so we're going to tell this pattern that it can make a flux dust. Oh, this is not a crafting pattern, this is a processing pattern. We can make a flux dust from a flux crystal with this encoded pattern. And we're going to plug that in there. So now, if I have done this correctly, we have one flux dust right now. If I click that I want another one, right, it's going to take one of these flux crystals and make a flux dust out of it. We should get 46 and 1 at the end of this. And alright, it did work. That item duct is a little slow, so in the future might change that to an ME import bus. Got a few things to build there. I'd like to automate making some of these things before I get too crazy with them. But that's basically how that works. So what I'm going to do now is go through and make these guys. The neat thing you can do with the pattern terminal, or sorry, the interface terminal, is you can see each of the interfaces on the network and what encoded patterns they have available. You can also move them around. Not that a pulverizer pattern makes much sense in a molecular assembler, but let's say you had 2 or 3 molecular assemblers, you could move patterns between them easily. With only one crafting coprocessing unit, one 1K storage, we're not going to have a lot of ability to do parallel processing, but we can expand that later on. That's why there's quite a bit of space right in here where we could expand that going forward. But anyway, that's the plan for in between episodes, I think. So for the end of this episode, let's look at time. We got a little bit of time, so I'm going to plug some of this back, just toss some of this back into the network, and go do something else real quick. So, I mentioned that. Okay, nothing in there. I mentioned that I wanted to move crops over here, and I did. I did that in between while I was not recording, just because I was wanting to take a quick break. But it does seem like the harvester is picking them up appropriately. It is not breaking them, so that is good. The planter's kind of useless, but whatever. So if you go back over here, down to where the farm outputs are, right? We've got carrots, got barley, got sugar, got a whole bunch of oak wood, because there's already 128 stacks of it here. So yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. Rubber also, tons of it. So I'm gonna have to set up some automatic processing over here. Fun times. The dirt generation is still going strong, and that's what's going on right now. So let's go build some more. Actually, let's take a break, right? Let's see what's in the quest book. See if there's anything we can do. I heard a spider. It's like a minor source of string. I'm not quite sure what to do about this, right? The spider, it seems to be spawning over here. Yep, right in there. Whenever there's, whenever it happens to work out right, because spiders can spawn in a really small area. I'm not seeing the X's up there, so it seems to be a really small window that they could potentially spawn in, but they are doing it, obviously. So I want to figure that out a little better. Either a way to just auto kill them, or a way to keep them from spawning. Still working on that. But let's see. No, spider eyes are not in barrels over here. We'll just toss them into me, because that's sort of the way I'm going to use it. And here we've got, starting to get full. I'm going to need some more storage cells at some point, but that's okay. Where's my quest book? There it is. Alright, let's see what quests we may have gotten through. So Applied Engineering is still waiting on the Essentia storage to do really anything. Haven't started Bees and Trees, haven't started Botania. We could do that at some point. Probably Thaumcraft is going to be the next major thing, that and Blood Magic. Probably the next two things that I really dig into. The Storage Wars quests could be interesting. Let's go make ourselves a void upgrade and get this structural right. So this is where it's almost like cheating. We need pistons. Look, we have pistons. And we need obsidian. And now we have a void upgrade. And now we have a structural Mark III. Let's get a structural Mark II. Let's get a fence. Alright, so now I've got Mark II and Mark III upgrades. And then we can make a storage upgrade. We will need more pistons and a barrel. I think pistons are going to be one of the things I need to create in the crafting terminal, although I'm not going to make blank patterns without much more quartz glass. Alright, I'm definitely out of quartz glass now. Let's make a piston pattern. Oh, this would be a crafting pattern. There we go. And just for giggles, let's make a barrel pattern. Not a sorting barrel, just a better barrel. Of course, we're going to need oak wood for that. Fortunately, I have some. Alright, so now we've got pistons and better barrels, which should allow us to craft. Oh, I could do this from the terminal interface. For the molecular assembler, feed it those two things. And now, when I want an storage upgrade, right, one of these, I can simply, how do I do this? I don't have any pistons. Let's make 10. There we go. So over here, we can then apply the structural 2. And a couple more of those, which means it can now hold 16,000 oak wood. That's fun. Since I've got a lot of barrels over here, I've just decided to put my upgrades there for a little bit, but since I've got the ME system now, let's go put everything in there. I don't really want to use the void upgrade unless I just have to, because, well, in Agrarian Skies 1 I voided a lot of things and turned out to need them later. Thank you, Jaded Cat. So I'd like to avoid that if possible. Next up, let's see what casting storage is. A casting frame can be used with a fluid transposer and filled with metals to create storage blocks. Okay. Casting frame. Not sure I'm going to use that because I don't make metals in the fluid transposer too much, but you know. Make ourselves a stone rod. We're going to need some smooth stone. And now we have our casting frame. And we get to, 8 fancy lanterns as a result. Yay. Those are fancy. Wow. You know, the mobs took that down. Oh, it wants an axe. I was going to say the zombies took that down with no problem. Not quite sure what my issue is. Much fancier. Alright. Anything up here? I'll go put the decorative blocks in ME as well. Don't think I'm going to have much use for the casting frame, but you never know. Next up, block extension. Block extenders are placed on inventory by sneaking right-clicking. Once placed, it will put items, fluids, and energy into a connected inventory as long as it's compatible. So this looks like it's sort of pre-Applied Energistics ways of handling inventory. It wants to detect, what does it want to detect? An advanced block extender and a filtered block extender. Block of redstone and a block extender being an ender pearl, obsidian, glass panes. So a lot of the stuff I'd like to teach the system how to build for me. So I'll probably do that in between episodes and just come back to these. So I think that will do it. I don't want to get into any of the other stuff, and we're actually over where I wanted to be for time. So got a little more involved in questing than I wanted to. But anyway, in between episodes, I'm going to work on filling this out a little bit more, moving some of the other machines over to build various things automatically, and I'll probably end up increasing the size of the processing units, but we'll see about that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.